Welcome back to the third episode of my FC26 Road to Glory. I apologize for the massive delay, and I'm trying to catch up as quickly as possible, as my team has obviously improved massively since these clips. What we're watching right now is all the way back from the early access tournament. And this video will end right before the start of the Halloween promo, so you just know how far back this is. First, we started with a good goal from the corner, then into Henry, doing what he does best, dribbling through him, making him look like Swiss cheese, passing it across for a back heel. Poor clearance from Reece James gives my opponent the ball back and gives him the opportunity to draw one back, making it 2-1 in the 14th minute. Not long after that, my opponent gets another chance when he passes it into the box, but Balde runs into the back of him, giving him an easy penalty. Spieler then dives to the right, and he goes center, tying the game at 2 in the 30th minute. After a nice header by James, Dolan picks the ball up on the right, spins his first man, cuts past the next one. A little chop in the middle for no reason, cakes it down, keeps going, takes triple, take the foul. Never mind, ball stays in. One more, puts back, spin, puts it into the back of the net. Dolan moving like he's Messi out of nowhere. Up 3-2, back out to Diaz. Henry making a big run down the middle. On the first time, volleys it into the bottom corner. That's 4-2 into the 60th minute, and that's got to be him done and dusted. We go right into the next game, hoping for another W, taking us one stage away from the final of the early access tournament again. But early on, we lose the ball at the top of the box and give Thuram an easy chance, put the other team 1-0 up. Not long after that, Griezmann gets the ball in open space in the middle and finds Barcola with an easy through ball and puts one past Villar, putting the opposition up 2-0 in the 29th minute. This game's obviously looking like it's going to be a lot more difficult than the previous one. Then right off the kickoff, you won't even believe what happens. Griezmann gets the ball, finds Thuram, we win it back, can't pass the ball, lose it to Tonali, spins us, and then gives it to Griezmann. Griezmann slips in Thuram, and he puts it past our keeper, putting us down 3-0 in the 32nd minute. Then again, 10 minutes after that, Dolan wins the ball. Out to Thuram, Henry, Dobvik, into Dolan. Finally finding our rhythm a little bit. Into Henry, good turn. Takes on his player and puts it past, bringing us back 3-1. Maybe you think we're back in the game. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have belief in me. Maybe you don't. I probably wouldn't have belief in me. As Thuram gets through again, after an easy play from Griezmann, and puts them back up 4-1. After that, I rage quit and had a draft token, so I got right into a draft. Captain, we get super lucky. Maradona right off the draw. Of course, I'm going to take him. No other person in that choice. It's even a question. Next, left wing. Vinny Jr. again. He's got a great card this year. 95 pace, 91 dribbling. Would love to pack him at some point. Then on the right, I don't know, Saka, Rodrigo, Diani, Messi, Foden. Those are all great choices. I don't know, Rodrigo, good for chemistry. Diani, he's got a very solid card. 4-star, 4-star, finesse shot plus. She looks like she might be the one. There we go. Skipping a little bit forward, that's the team that we came out with. Couple good icons. We got Buffon in goal. We got the Swedish girl in the middle. Then we got Frimpong at right back. I mean, overall, the team looks pretty good, I gotta say. Getting right into the first game, the other team had some pretty good solid players, as you expect from a draft. Bellingham, he's got R9 Ronaldo, who's giving us problems right from the start, putting us 1-0 down early on. But however, we've found our chances on our own, through Fernandez finding a little slip through into Maradona, putting him through and tying it 1-1. That was a sublime pass and was right on the money. After we lose the ball again in the middle from some poor passing, Hernandez puts in a nice tackle, gets it up to Maradona. Maradona's too quick, takes too big of a touch out wide, but recovers with a nice ball roll, skips past another defender, and just slams it into the left side, putting us up 2-1 in the 32nd minute. Looking pretty good. Maradona's feeling nice, as you expect. So good on the ball, so quick, and his finishing is really good. Did I mention that the opponent has Ronaldinho as well? Well, he just absolutely runs through everybody, crosses it to Chiesa, and Chiesa slots it in, tying the game 2-2 right after we just went up. But again, right off of our kickoff, we give it back to Fernandez. Enzo just running with it, taking through, loses it. Chiesa now has it, plenty of space on the counterattack, into Ronaldo. Some scissors and some more moves around us, skips by us, just too quick, and slots it with a low driven into the bottom left corner. When we were up 2-1 in 1 second, and in a flash, we're now down 3-2 before the half ends. But again, game is not over, still some time. After heading it down, Diana finds the ball on the wing, gets it across to Maradona, and that is a first half hat trick. But again, like I said, there's still time left. And we get a corner from the other team, falls down to Ronaldinho, and Ronaldinho finesse shots it into the back right top corner. But of course, the excitement does not stop there. 10 minutes after the restart, Ronaldinho dribbles past Frimpong, gets clipped up, and falls down for a penalty. Pirlo versus Buffon, Italian versus Italian, but Pirlo slots it into the bottom right corner. In the 70th minute, Ronaldo finds Chiesa on the right, where it beats Mendy, then beats Hernandez, takes it down to the byline, cuts it back, and Bellingham finishes it into the bottom left corner, making the score 6-3. We then gifted him a goal, making it 7-3. But in the 75th minute, we found ourselves on a comeback. Vinny Jr. smacks one to the top left, before we created one off of a free kick in our own half. Again, from Vinny Jr. finding Maradona, turning his man, beating a second one, and then finesse shotting it into the top left corner. However, is it too late, or is there time for us to make a comeback? 7-5, 2 goals down. However, Littmanen then finds Vinny Jr. on the free on the left, takes his plenty of space that he has, puts it on his right foot, and travellas it into the back of the net. However, it was too little too late, as we still ended up losing 8-6 in the first match of a first draft of the year. That's not how we would like the series to go, but we have plenty of room for improvement as we go. Obviously, with losing the first match, our reward is going to be pretty terrible. So we just got a gold pack. Not going to get anything out of that, but we were gifted 3 more loan picks that allow us to get a midfielder, defender, and attacker. Obviously, with that, we got Van Dijk, Tonali, and Mbeumo, who are going to be huge improvements coming in our next couple games. We get right into our next game in division rivals, hoping for another W, and then hoping to move on and progress through the divisions. We find a goal early on from Dobvik, who was able to turn his opponent and put one into the back left corner. And not long after that, still in the beginning of the game, their opponent comes down with a very similar team to us, with Henry finding Baltimore into Diaz, and then tying the game at 1 in the 13th minute. Again, in the 22nd minute, we lose the ball in the midfield. Then he found his player out on the wing, hits it into the middle, beats us down the dribble, and then puts it into the back of the net, putting us down 2-0. However, right before halftime, we find the ball on the right with Reece James, who's got plenty of room ahead of him, crosses it in, and on a big header, putting it into the back of the net, bringing us within 1. We were then able to tie it up before halftime, but quickly after the restart, find the ball at Henry with space around him, beats 2 people on the spin, and bangs it in with his left foot into the bottom right corner. Then ties it up 3-3, but again, right off the kickoff, get the ball with Dobvik, beat one man, out to Thuram, into Koopmeiners, out to Diaz, into Henry. Henry then takes 2 men on, still back outside, back up top to Koopmeiners, out to Thuram. Thuram finds Dobvik, turns his man, smashes it into the back of the net, putting us into a 4-3 lead. Then back into the 75th minute, we're on the counter-attack with Henry leading us, taking his space, finding Diaz on the wrap, and he beats 2 men and then puts us again with a 2-goal lead, making it 5-3. We scored 1 more before the end of the game, defeating our opponent 6-3, taking another step closer in climbing the divisions. Next, we found ourselves in the SBC section, where we wanted to upgrade our team by completing the first really interesting player that they had released in the game, that being Showdown Nicolas Pepe. We completed the most expensive team, which was only an 82 rated. Sadly, the reward was obviously going to be pretty poor, which was just a gold pack. We didn't expect much out of it, hopefully just making a couple thousand coins off of consumables or maybe an expensive player. But we skip the pack, and we get to see briefly that we get Estevao in there, who's going to soon become pretty handy for some evolutions, as you'll see. But into the next game, we get right into it in another Division Rivals games, where we find Henry is doing what he does best, still putting us into the lead 1-0 before the 20th minute. Then again, we find ourselves in our half with a free kick, where we find Luis Diaz out wide, who finds Henry again, just carrying us, who then finesses it to the back of net, putting us up in a 2-0 early lead. Not after we got our 2-0 lead, our opponent's able to maneuver their way into our box, finding Nas in the middle and putting it into the back of the net, making it 2-1. But right off of that kickoff, we go right back out of it, giving Dovvik the ball from Henry, spinning around a couple times, into Thuram, just keeping the ball. Koopmeiners up to Dovvik. Dovvik holding his man off, finding some space, putting it on his right foot, putting us back into that 2-goal lead. But again, soon after that, Cece finds a space in the middle, cuts us up a little bit with some nice dribbling, and then putting it into the back of the net, putting our lead down to just 1 goal. Before the half ended, we won the ball back in our end, and then we're able to work it back up through Koopmeiners, one-touch passing all the way up to Henry, then takes it on the dribble himself, cuts it around, back to Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners spins, finds Henry, and then he hits it with the outside of his foot back into the net. And that's our lead restored. Then again, into the second half, there's still plenty of time to get some more goals. We find Dolan finds Thuram, then out to Henry. Henry then puts some moves on, and somehow finesses it into the back of the net, finally extending our lead to 3 goals, and it appears our opponent has had enough as he rage quits and gives us the W. Again, putting us closer to rising through the divisions. Next, we found ourselves completing the last stage of the Nicolas Pepe Showdown SBC. He looks like a really solid card, and if they end up getting the win, then he gets a +1 to all of his stats, making him even better and a really, really important card at the beginning of the game. Only costing an 82, 81, and 80 overall team, it was a no-brainer in getting him done. So that's Nicolas Pepe into the team. As you'll see, we'll check out his card in 1 second and see how he's going to make an instant impact into our somewhat struggling team currently. He can play right mid, he can play striker, and he can do it all. He's got good speed, good finishing, and he looks like an incredibly solid card. There it is, 89 pace, 80 shooting, 84 dribbling, 82 overall. He's got also a very cool dynamic image, and I really like the Showdown card this year as well. I think he'll slot right into our team and be a really good impact sub as well if we end up putting him on the bench. But he's got a really nice card as well, with some 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot, as well as some nice rolls. After completing the SBC, we hopped in some more Division Rivals games, where we ended up winning 5-4 and pushing ourselves out of Division 8 and into Division 7. This is going to be really vital on getting some better rewards and just continuing to push up the divisions so we can get more coins and more rewards and just better players. Like I said, that pushes up into Division 7. We're on a hot streak right now, and hopefully getting some more qualification points for champions as well, because that's going to be our eventual goal, is winning as many games as we can in FUT Champs. They've thankfully continue to lower the games, and it's only 15 games currently. With completing that game as well, we also completed some objectives where we've been given some player picks, some packs, and some other things as well. So here we go, we're just going to accept them. Path to Pro gives us a gold pack. And then we finish the FC Competitor, which gives us a 1 player pick and then a pack as well. So we'll open up the pick where we first get a 1 out of 3, 81 plus, where the first is the Liverpool goalkeeper, Conor Gallagher, and then Orban at the end. I think I'm going to go with the goalkeeper, as I've heard he's pretty good this year, and we don't really have the best goalkeeper currently. He is also a great option for when we eventually switch to Premier League players. But looking at our team right now, we've got some pretty decent evos going on Reece James and our goalkeeper as well. However, we'll get right into some more games, as they've just recently released this thing called the Ultimate Gauntlet, which basically it makes you have 3 different teams. You can only use player 1 time, and if you win the game, you can't use them in the next game. So we've tried to create 3 teams that have pretty equal qualities to try to hopefully put us through and win us the tournament. For the first game, we find ourselves early on with a goal from Henry, who puts us in a 1-0 lead. Next, off of the opponent's corner, we get a big header up to Henry, takes 2 people on, dribbles out wide to the left, makes it all the way around them with his speed, runs around the keeper, and puts it into the back of the net, giving us a 2-0 lead just before halftime. But of course, right off that kickoff, our opponent now gets the ball, runs right at us, spins a couple times, plays the ball out wide, then holds it up with Anthony, finds the space down the line, where we recover, win the ball, but it bounces off, falls right to his man, and they put it away, making it 2-1 and bringing them back into the game right before the end of the half. And again, off their corner, keeper catches it, finds Diaz out wide. Diaz then finds Henry, and he's got plenty of space on him, and then a little cheeky chip over him. Oh, look at that. I mean, just perfectly dinked right over him, and then he goes and headsbutt the corner flag, putting us up 3-1. We win the ball in the back, find Diaz out wide again, then finds Dobbik, holds it up, spins his man, takes his space, and puts a little finesse shot past the keeper, extending our lead to now 4-1. I mean, we've just got a convincing lead in this game, and it seems like our team really knows what they're doing. Diaz's connection up to the two strikers has been fantastic. Now we're out wide to goal. Puts a little Brazilian flair on him. Finds Dobbik again. Beats two men and smashes it into the back of the net, extending our lead back to 5-2. I mean, we've let up a little bit in defense, but we're never going to get outscored. After winning our first game in the gauntlet, we then checked our rewards and saw what the overall rewards were for winning all three. It looks like it's a Kudus card. It's got a really nice card, but it is just another right mid. And then as well as you see there for the second game, you get a whipped plus Evo, which seems like it could be really handy at the beginning of the game where not many players have whip plus. Next, we had to figure out a second team to go into the second round of the gauntlet. So we were buying a couple players, and this is what we initially had figured out, but realized we liked the 4-2-3-1 more than the 4-4-2. So then we got Mateo and Embuemo up top, hopefully going to be a good connection to push us into the final round of the gauntlet. But here we go, going into the second game. We started off strong, a good header from the back, Tonali putting it up to Mateo, who found Ford out wide and then into Embuemo, then took his space and found Mateo, dribbled around a couple players, and hit it into the back of the net, giving us a 1-0 early on lead. Again, Tonali finds the ball back into the middle, Ford then wins it back again, taking their space down the line, finds Mateo into the middle, finds Embuemo, who's able to make it around the player and hit it into the back of the net, giving us again a 2-0 lead pretty early on to the game. Then into the 38th minute, we get a little corner with White, puts it into the air, head it down, Mateo slides and puts it into the back of the net, giving us a 3-0 lead. And I'm not sure if this second team is just better than the first, or if this guy's just worse than the first player that we played. But we keep on scoring with Mateo finding Embuemo on the turn, who then turns his man and puts it into the back of the net, extending our lead to 4. Then again, Mateo gets the ball in the center, connects with Embuemo, who turns two men, takes the third one on, uses his strength and speed to get by him, and then puts it into the back of the net, putting us to a 5-0 lead before the first half has even ended. And there he goes. There he goes. That's all he needed. It was 45 minutes of slapped around to get out of the game. With that second victory, we unlocked the Whip Pass Plus Evo, which is going to be really useful in the future, and we'll have to decide who we're going to use it on. But again, looking at our third team, we've got some quality in it, but some pretty bad players as well. But still, our two strikers are going to be able to work together well. Wisa and Keane hopefully going to be able to put it in the back of the net and win us the third game of the gauntlet and get us that Kudus. But we start on the backhand with losing the ball on the top and then not being able to figure out our defense. So we are 1-0 down in the 10th minute. It would take us until the 20th minute to get our own chance when Matoma was out on the left, then found Keane through, then put it around his man, so about to take a shot, and they got absolutely taken out. That was Nathaniel Ake, so of course going to complain, but it was a pretty clear penalty. So we put our best player Saka on it, steps up, and the lag gets us. He hits it over the bar, and there goes our tying goal that could have been. But not long after, we'll get a chance to recover as we win the ball back at the top of the box. Wisa then dribbles around a couple, spins around. We find our way back to the top. Keane then finds his way and puts it into the back of the net, tying the game at 1. In the 36th minute, my opponent found himself clear on goal, but we recovered and then counter-attacked quickly, getting the ball all the way up to Keane, who then found it back to Wisa, gets past the last man, and smashes it past his goalie as he moves him to the wrong side. Then again, in the 53rd minute, we found ourselves winning the ball at midfield, getting it up to Wisa, who runs around his man, puts it onto his left foot, and hits it near post. Then not long before that, again, we find the ball in the middle, up to Wisa. His man commits too heavy, dribbles past one, cuts past two, and then somehow gets the shot in between, the outside of his foot, giving us a 4-1 lead, completing his hat trick and winning us the tournament. And that confirms it gets us the Kudus, Cornerstones Evo, as well as some more really good packs. This card looks pretty good, honestly. You can play right wing, left wing, striker, and right mid. And he's got some good roles as well as play styles, as well as got over 90 pace. After that, I decided it was time that we actually made a new squad that was going to be our actual team. This is where we'll change and update our team throughout the year, just kind of showing where our starter squad is at. Although we're going to have plenty of other teams that we're going to play with for Gauntlet and other reasons, this is really going to be our main team with our best players. I think currently, looking at formations, my best formation is 4-2-3-1 with the left mids and right mids. And I think as well that fits our players that we have right now the best. So we're going to start with that. And then of course, we're going to go star out striker, and there's only going to be one person who's going to be in there, and that's Henry. I think the best way to do it will be just putting all the players that we think need to be in the starting 11 on the bench and then figuring it out from there. I think that is really important that we're going to have a lot of players from different leagues and different countries, so we're going to have to figure out the chemistry the best. I think Dolan has to be there. He's able to play multiple positions, as well as he's super good on the ball. And then those two new Premier League players we got there are going to be really helpful, as I am a Chelsea fan and want to involve as many Chelsea players as well as I can. As you see there, we'll add Pepe and Balde, so we'll see if we're able to get that La Liga connection into the team as well. But we'll start with the Liverpool goalkeeper, put Kudus out right, that's some good connection right there, putting Kudus already onto 2 chemistry. And then it is going to be a little difficult, as it does just seem like everybody plays striker or right mid. But we got Balde at left back, as he is super expensive still at the beginning of the game. He's going to be super good for us. The next, Dolan at cam, who looks like he's going to be a good fit for Premier League players as well. But we might just start him at the left mid right now. He also links to the La Liga kids, so that gives us a good link there as well. But there is also the Diaz, who, wow, he's worth 38k, so he definitely needs to be into the team. So we'll definitely then put Dolan at cam, and we'll put him at left mid. That is multiple leagues now, so we're going to have to get smart about how we build chemistry here. I'm not sure, sadly, if Pepe is even going to fit it in, even with that upgrade now all the way up to an 83. But looking at the rest of the club, we've got some nice players, but not too many high-rated guys, to be honest. We've got Casado and Tonali, who are both loans, but I think Thuram has to start at CDM. He's got a really nice card that we can definitely evolve up as well. Then we've got a couple of nice center backs that we've bought for the Gauntlet, as well as Henko, who might work for chemistry, so we'll put him in for now. And then Kalulu, who will give great chemistry for Thuram, so we're definitely putting them in. Having full chemistry on both of those will be extremely important going into the beginning of the game. And then, of course, we're going to go Reece James at right back, as I think he's going to be our right back throughout the entirety of the year, just evolving that one card up and see how many games we can actually get on him. And then for the rest of the team, I'm not 100% sure what to do, so I'm going to put Caicedo in there right now as just a loan. But this is what we ended up with, as we throw some chemistry styles on some people, giving a Maestro for Dolan, which is honestly going to make him feel incredible. But this is what we ended up with. Pretty solid bench as well as the starting team looks pretty decent, with Kudus on the right, Diaz on the left, Dolan down the middle, with Henry up top. I mean, I think that is quite a solid lineup. And then with our new team, we're going to head into the division rivals and see just how good they truly are. We get right into another division rival game, where we definitely need to keep winning, as we now have our bonus, so each win puts us up 2 spots and gives us extra points, leading our way to get the 15 points that we need to get rewards. With that, early on we get it to Dolan, with his new chemistry style, bangs it into the back of the net, giving us an early lead on. Then again, we win the ball in the center, Dolan finds Henry looks back to Dolan uses that right foot, puts it back into the lead again. 2-0 on, only into 10 minutes. Again, we win the ball at the back. Find Kudus out wide, who heads it down to Dolan. Dolan feels so smooth with this new chemistry style. Kudus, nice little skill pass into Dolan. Dolan takes on another man, spins, takes his space some more, takes on the next man, There's more room around it, puts it on his left, and then that is the first half hat trick. Wow, since getting his new chemistry style, Dolan has really been on one. Again, we win the ball at the back, find Kudus out wide, who holds it up, gets it up to Henry. Henry does some nice skill moves, finds Kudus in plenty of space with a hard through ball. Kudus cuts it back, takes his man on, and then takes a nice shot that gets saved by the keeper, but Dolan is able to hop over his man and put in his 4th goal of the game. We now jump forward to when we are 5-1 up, and Kudus finds the ball out wide. Again, Henry makes a nice run into the space, taking his man on, getting chopped down, and then waiting for the foul. Call doesn't come, so he chops it, takes his space, cuts past one, holds it up, scissors, spins, cuts past another one, spins, and then another outside the foot into the back of the net. And that's a wrap on that game, where we see Dolan collect the game ball for scoring 6 goals in 7 attempts. I mean, if you want to see somebody prove something, that is proving that he needs to be in our team at all times. Dolan scores 6 out of our 8 goals in our 8-4 victory. But then back into the menus, we see we have some earn some packs, where we open an 82 plus pack, and we'll see center back, Brazil, Serie A, Juventus. So this is Bremer. He's got a really nice card. Wow, 82 pace, 86 defending, and 80 physical on an 85 rated card. And looking at our team, you see we have Thuram, who's going to fit perfectly with him, both being from Juventus. That's another 20k player that obviously is untradeable, but is going to make a huge impact on our team, as our defense is probably the weakest point of our team currently. With the new addition, we get right into another division rivals game, where we're facing another person who's on a win streak currently, so it makes it even more vital that we get another win and get closer to getting out of Division 7. But early on, we get spun around a couple times by multiple players, and he puts it into the back of the net, putting himself 1-0 up in the 20th minute. My opponent then tries to do it again, but this time we're able to win the ball off of him, and then go on our counter-attack when a 1-on-1 up top, where Henry has plenty of speed to get past him, and then hits it into the back of the net with the outside of his foot, tying the game at 1. Then win the ball out wide again with Reece James, who gets it to Kudus, then finds Dolan in the middle, takes on his man, running at him with speed, finds Kudus in plenty of space, who then uses his right foot to put us back in the lead at 2-1. Just before the end of the half, Thuram wins the ball at the top of the box, finds Dolan, who then finds Henry out wide, then puts it into Kudus, takes his space, finds it to Dolan, who's got plenty of room in the middle, takes his time and puts it into the back of the net, giving us a 3-1 lead going into halftime. Then in the 66th minute, Caicedo passes the ball to Reece James, who then hits a long switch all the way over to Diaz, brings it down nicely, passes it back, gets it back to Diaz. Diaz then hits a little ball roll, and decides this is my time to take the ball and just go on myself. So he takes on another player. It's a La Croqueta, spins past another one, and then slips it past the goalie and hits it into the back of the net, pushing our lead to 4-1, and truly ending the game for our opponent. Look at that replay. Put him on the ground. And after a little bit, we completed some squad battles just to get some more rewards, complete some evolutions, and again, just get some games in general. So there you go. You see we complete Svilar, who then gets some more stats. We also completed the Relentless Pressure evolution on Reece James, which gives him the Relentless playstyle, adding on to his already nice array of playstyles. Looking at the rest of the evolutions that are currently on offer, we see a bunch of ones that we can pay for that basically only apply to one stat, giving them a +1 somewhere else. But looking around, there are some pretty decent ones that we could put on some of our players to make them eventually some pretty solid players. Most notably, we want to put more on Reece James, of course, and on a Thuram card, who if he gets a couple nice evos, he might turn into a really, really solid card, which is exactly what we need in our CDM spot on our main team. So again, looking at Thuram, we want to see what we can add on to him. There's Long Pass, the Rising Guard, Intro to Evolutions, which gives a nice upgrade, which I think we might put onto him. It gives a solid +1 in pace and +1 in shooting, and not many games as well, so it's a quick evo that gives a pretty nice boost at the beginning of the game. But still, there's plenty of others without looking around. We've got club member rewards, the Whip Pass Plus still as well, which all give pretty decent evolutions to either play styles or giving them new roles, like the club member reward that I just showed. But as well, we still need to figure out what we're going to do with the Whip Plus Evo, as it's going to be a good boost to one of our players when we put it on. But then one game later, we complete the Thuram Evo, gives him that 1+ pace, shooting, and overall, giving him a pretty solid card. Like I had shown, there's still plenty of other Evos that we can throw on top of that to make him even better. So we're going to throw him right into the one-shot one, which will obviously, like it says, just give him +1 in shooting. Continuing to add on to our Evos is going to be really important throughout the year, as it's just going to make our players even more personal and even better along the way. I think we're definitely going to keep upgrading Thuram and Reece James just throughout the year, making the cards just as best as possible, seeing how many games played, stats, just in general, that we can get on those specific cards. But again, after a couple games played, we've unlocked a couple more rewards, getting a new right back and a couple silver packs as well. Continuing to complete those objectives is going to be the best way to grow our club and just get more packs and coins in general. So we hopped right into Rush, where we were playing in a center backs only game mode. So we went right in with Bremer and saw how we could do. Quickly my team went down 3-0, but we were able to get one back. There was still plenty of time in the game, so my team was still fighting forwards, trying to get back into the game, but my teammates were not very good. So I had to do most of the work on my own, fighting both on offense and on defense, putting in a great tackle, stopping their counterattack here. However, my team was able to fight back to tie it and bring it all the way to penalties, where my teammate put it away in the end and won us the penalty shootout 4-2, which was super nice as it completed a whole bunch of objectives for us. However, Rush was kind of boring, so we got right into another Rivals game just to continue to test our team and push up the divisions to get better rewards. Diaz shows his skills on the left side, cutting through 3 people, dribbling around one more, and then firing it into the back of the net, putting us up 1-0. Minutes later, we win the ball back at the top of the box. Thuram finds Luis Diaz, then puts it into Dolan, who puts it into Henry. Henry takes his time, sees plenty of space, and runs at the defense, splitting 2 people, and then finishing it into the right side of the net, giving us a convincing 2-0 lead 4 minutes into the game. Our opponent is then caught sleeping on the wing, losing the ball to Kudus, who then beats his man on the wing, cuts in, finds Dolan, and Dolan puts it through, puts it on his right, and smashes it into the back of the net for a 3-0 lead. We then again win the ball at the back, and then connect through the middle with Henry to Dolan, Dolan back out wide to Luis Diaz, who slips it through on his first touch into Henry, takes a great touch around his man, and slips it into the back of the net, giving us a 4-0 lead inside the first half. That was the best of the action as we won 5-3, with Henry scoring an amazing hat-trick to help us climb up the ranks of Division 7 even more. Henry truly has been the difference maker in these early games of Division Rivals, really helping us go through divisions. However, our next game, we find ourselves go 1-0 down through a huge header from Emre Can, and then soon after that, we then lose the ball at the back, get absolutely done by a cool move, and then they volley it in, putting us 2-0 down in the 30th minute. However, not long after that, we win the ball back in the midfield, quickly get it up top to Dolan, then finds Henry in plenty of space, and in one touch, he hits it past the goalie and brings us back into the game. Then again, just before halftime, we find the ball in the midfield. Barrios and Thuram connect back and forth a couple times, just keeping the ball away from the opponent, till he finds Henry, then slips it into Dolan, who turns his man and fires it into the back of the net, tying the game at 2-2. This game was the quarterfinals of the Cornerstones Qualifier Cup, which will be incredibly important for us to continue our winning ways so we can get more rewards and continue to build up our club. And if you've made it this far, you truly are a real one, so if you comment the number 19, I'll ask you for your Venmo and send you $1. But back to the game. Find the ball up to Dolan, who turns his man again and bangs it into the back of the goal. Like I said, this Dolan card has truly became something else. However, our lead did not last long, as in the 60th minute, after some shaky defense, our opposition finds its way through to tie the game at 3. 5 minutes later, though, after some nice passing through the middle, we're able to work it up to Henry, who's able to find his space around his man, and he's able to put it past the outrushing goalkeeper with a nice finish to his right. Again, 5 minutes later, we find ourselves on a counterattack with plenty of space in front of us, obviously giving it to Henry again, who makes a couple defenders look like fools before putting it into the back of the net, giving us a 2-goal lead. We ended up putting one more away before the end of the game, defeating our opponent 6-3, with Henry putting in an absolute shift with 4 fantastic goals and only 5 shots. Again, Henry just truly carrying us to another victory, pushing us into even further stages and winning games that we probably wouldn't be winning if we didn't have him up top. At this stage of the game, Henry just seems like he's a step above of everybody else. And you see there, we got pushed into the semifinals of the Cornerstones tournament. Still just a qualifier, so we still get some nice rewards, and it gives us a chance to continue to evolve our players as we complete the one-shot Evo on Thuram, giving him that +1 boost in shooting, making him an even better card and even bigger threat in front of goal. He's only about 1 Evo away from becoming a really, really good card. Next, we got into the semifinals of the Cornerstones Cup, where again we are hoping for a really big win so we can go into the finals and qualify for the actual Cornerstones Cup soon. However, in the 30th minute, we had found ourselves already down 2-0 and struggling to even get into this game. My opponent then found himself again in a great opportunity where he played with us a little bit before putting it into the back of the net and extending his lead to 3-0. At this point, I'm thinking, what can I do? I'm just getting worked around. This guy is obviously maybe better than me. Probably not, maybe. I wouldn't say so, but it's definitely good. That doesn't mean we can't beat him. So right off of the kickoff, we dribble it around, lose it, win it back with Kudus, then finds Dolan, then puts it into Thuram, who somehow gets around his defenders, splitting about 4 people, and firing it into the back of the net, and firing us back into this game. Again, in the 65th minute, Dolan finds himself on his own, with plenty of room in front of him, just 2 defenders to get by. He fires it past the goalie. However, Dolan's goal wouldn't be enough, as we still ended up losing 3-2 and getting knocked out in the semifinals of the Cup. Looking at the match facts, we didn't create enough chances for us to even win this game. So it's only on us and got nobody else to blame, honestly. But after those games, we had a bunch of rewards and a bunch of packs that we can open to hopefully get some new players to add on to our team and continue to improve our club. However, out of all of these packs, the last one was the only good one. So we opened the 82+ pack, which gives us a right mid from La Liga, but sadly not the right Williams brother. Still got a decent card. He's got 94 pace, 84 physical, 81 shooting, and 80 dribbling. An 83 rated card. I mean, he looks super, super solid, to be honest. I mean, could be definitely good off the bench, maybe in some evolutions in the future as well. But that's where we're going to leave it off today. I really appreciate everybody tuning in again, and I apologize for the wait. I'm hoping the next video will be a lot sooner and a lot better as well. We're going to hopefully catch us up all the way up to the past week. So make sure to tune in for that. So like and subscribe for more content to come soon. As well as don't forget to comment the number 19 so I can make sure I Venmo everybody who made it this far. Again, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.